other issue in agriculture that I was a bit surprised about is cannabis. Who mentioned it? Somebody mentioned it. I think the Minister of Agriculture again mentioned we will be decriminalizing. But that wasn't your promise, my friend. I tell you again, beware of what you promised. Previous administration promised decriminalization, so you went on the campaign and said, you're going further than decriminalizing, you're going to legalize. Your words, not mine. So there was a promise to legalize. I said at the time that there is no way you're going to legalize. In fact, one member of your committee, I bet him $10,000 he can't do it. He promised to get legalized by the end of last year. It's difficult, and we must admit that some of your promises, some of the promises you made could not be fulfilled, and legalizing cannabis is one of them. So now you've come to reality. I just use this as an example of don't overpromise. Just like your position on CBI. We'll come to CBI in a minute. So you're going to decriminalize. Let me say this to you. The legislation you're talking about that I had reviewed was in the parliament before. So you have the legislation. So don't tell the people that you're reviewing any legislation. It's already there with everything in it. The legislation was presented about 5 years ago and it's in the House. But I have no issue with that. I'm not saying it as a criticism. I'm just telling you where to find it. Just helping you. Ideas. I urge you to also study the Caribbean Commission's report. The Caribbean Commission and local churches and NGOs, Aldo Ferguson was deeply involved with it, had several consultations. And while they agreed that decriminalizing is good for certain aspects of our society, including not getting criminal records for small quantities, there's a whole plethora of things, they were concerned that unless we recognize that there are some people that are negatively affected by it. Just like alcohol. Alcohol is there. Everybody inside it, maybe most people take a sip, but there are some people, if they take a sip, they're going off their rockers. We should make sure that we are aware of the effects it may have on certain young people, negative effects. And that is why I am surprised that I'm not hearing much talk about the Carlton Home, which was another promise you made. It's not there. But we need to have these facilities available when you're making a step like that, which was one of the reasons that it was delayed. You must know. I know it. I grew up at a time when cannabis just came in. I know. I have colleagues, close friends, who are negatively affected by it. If you have 10 people, 1 or 2 of them might be negatively affected. When they are, you must have the facilities available to deal with them. And that must be taken into account. Don't just announce decriminalization. Announce decriminalization with what? And if you look at the West Indian Commission report on cannabis, it gives you all of that. In addition to the position of the churches, the Catholic Church was very instrumental. Go back to those reports of these consultations and you will certainly see these issues being raised.